great sense of honor and privilege to be presented and celebrated this way with the South Africa. I remember when this organization was first started, I was talking to a young man by the name of Willard Johnson. And I must deviate from what I started to say, but I was prepared to get into it where I want to be. One of the great rewards of this evening that I will never have to hear from Willard Johnson again. I've known Willard now for almost 100 years. And he's made every step along the way not only exciting and intellectually stimulating, but I watched as many of these organizations were conceived, were grown and developed into the institutions they have become. And I must say that I am proud that I could have been a part of it. It was not so much what each of us as individuals, as individuals have achieved, but what we were able to do as a collective. I'm very grateful to Paul Robeson, my mentor, who told me that the power of art was not just to show life as it is, but to show life as it should be. And for those of us who are blessed with the gift of art, we should understand that the most important aspect of that blessing was that we were in fact the gatekeepers of truth. And I listen to young artists here tonight, multicultural, multi-gendered, multiracial, performing the way they did, and for Larry Watson, what he did in performing those wonderful collections of songs that I had performed, was a gratification and a joy in knowing that the voice of art and culture still resides in the service of our human need. Many years ago, I was pleased to be able to share intimate moments and conversations and strategies with the head of the ANC, a man by the name of Oliver Tambo, who resided in England and was one of the ones chosen by the ANC to lead in exile the resistance movement of the ANC and South African leaders. It was he who, through Lindiwe Mabuza, called and said one day, when I had nothing else to do, that he would like me to spearhead and to handle the affairs of Nelson Mandela in coming to America. I flew to London to plead with him, to tell him that I had no credentials that could live up to such a challenge, and that perhaps we should consider others. But he would not have it any other way. And one of the great moments in my life was not only to be able to be of service to the ANC in doing that work, in the bringing of Madiba to America, but I remember when he came here to Boston, we had a little group in which Willard was a part of it, and our task was to sort out who and where and when Nelson Mandela should appear on this rather brief 11-day visit to meet an entire nation that had been so devoted to the service of South Africa's liberation. And it was Willard, a small group of us that came out of Trans-Africa, that began to work at bringing Madiba to Boston, and the incredible enthusiasm that was expressed by this community. And not only welcoming him here, but preparing for him a future, for America, for South Africa to share common interests culturally and politically. It said in the instructions that I was given, and I took note of this, that all other type in the information was written in average case, except one phrase: keep it to 2 minutes. It was written rather largely. There's some subtle instruction that I got. Just spend forever here rambling on and on about art, politics, commitment, America, our future, the future of the world. I've lived long enough. I'm almost 86. But I've lived long enough to not only recall the moments when we stepped into the breach, not only during the Second World War, when many of us struggled against fascism and Hitler, what was happening to other peoples in the world so cruelly crushed by racism and fascism, but to have been part of that and to have been touched by the lives of people like Eleanor Roosevelt and Paul Robeson, Dr. Du Bois, and then ultimately by a vast number of people that fled into the room of opportunity to give the service to the world that many did. And when people talk to me about sacrifice, I said, this life is no sacrifice. Believe me, do not weep for me on any level. All the rewards were mine. Look who I met. Look who guided me. Look who instructed. Look who invited me to share in a remarkable struggle for the freedom of humankind. And to be honored in the name of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, not only a friend, but a man who was filled with great rascality. I am just deeply touched that I should not only have met him when he was unknown to the world, but now that he's a great universal luminary, to have been honored in his name, and I'm older than he is. I'm going to Skype him tonight. Once again, let me say that I'm deeply privileged and honored to have been part of this celebration. I salute the organization, South African partners, for doing what you do to not only, in the beginning, help to nail the security of South Africa's step into the world as a young democracy, but to continue to support that country as it struggles, as we all struggle, to find the right light in the right place at the right time, to put a light on the darkness that persists on trying to engulf us with such great consistency. We have a tough period ahead of us in the next few weeks, depending on the vote. Making sure that those who would destroy all of this, who would make our work for naught, who see us as hardly worthy of the time of the head of state to pay attention to our needs, especially among the poor, especially among those who are incarcerated so cruelly by an unjust system. There's a lot of work to go on. A lot of work for us to do for Barack Obama to get him reelected. And I'm glad to see that a lot of people who should have been here tonight are not here because they're in the field organizing, turning out the vote. Thank you all. My wife, Pamela.